Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, tēnā koutou te whare paramata. He mihi nui ki te Atiawa whānui, he mihi nui ki te Atiawa te kotahitanga, he mihi nui ki te whānau katoa. Just like to stand and acknowledge the manuhiri who have come and the importance of this day and the importance of what we are in the process of doing. I'd like to acknowledge the Minister and the work of the Māori Affairs Select Committee on this important day. I'm standing here for the first time on this bill, although it's second reading, and as the previous speaker said, I also feel a weight, the weight of history that comes from what happened in Te Atiawa and what that means to our nation. And the shame I feel that so few people for so long have not understood the significance of what happened in Taranaki, in Te Atiawa, as the beginning of the total dispossession of tangata whenua across the motu when the colonial forces decided to take the land. So I think it's very important for us to acknowledge today the weight of history, the importance of trying to do better, and in many ways to express to Te Atiawa, Parliament may not have yet have grown up, but you grew up a long time ago, had no choice. And we need to honour that. We need to honour your effort and respond to your effort with equal respect. I just want to talk also about the way in which war, perpetual leases, and other mechanisms have been tools of alienation of land in Te Atiawa Rohe, and how profoundly devious as well as direct the process of colonisation is. I'm using the word is because I don't actually think it's over. I think this is a positive step in the right direction, a controversial and positive and difficult step in the right direction, but it's not over. And the Green Party always stands to pay respect to the bill. We'll be supporting it, but we also stand to pay respect to the fact that Te Treaty of Waitangi, which was signed by Te Atiawa Tupuna, does not finish, cannot be full and final, must be an ongoing relationship, must be an ongoing dialogue, does not end this day. And that I believe, and the Green Party believes, that we would always stand here to hear more from Te Atiawa, from the hapu katoa, about these issues. It's not over for us because we stand for Te Treaty, and that is about a permanent, ongoing, negotiated relationship based on justice. I'd like to also acknowledge that part of the loss is in the 20th century, the 1944 Act, where they attempted to say, the Crown attempted to say that they had compensated and recognised Te Atiawa without the consent of Te Atiawa. That's what I mean by devious. The ongoing pretense that things are being settled in the past right through the 20th century. And acknowledge too that not only is it the loss, the physical loss to the people of their whenua, but also the pollution issues that have affected Te Atiawa. The Waitara River, that's been treated like a drain by a number of industries and by the sewage of the communities. This food source, this taonga that leads out to a food basket, and the struggle that there has been, an intergenerational struggle to clean up that river. The relationship that Te Atiawa have with their coast and their connection to Ngā Motu, which is acknowledged in the settlement. Dow chemicals polluted that community, polluted that area with a toxic product that was sprayed over Vietnamese people that was generated in Taranaki, and where the sick people are still affected, where the environment's still affected. And I want to acknowledge Te Atiawa's burden that they have received through no fault of their own, from the abuse of land, the abuse of the colonisation process, and then the abuse of the environment, which they can't separate themselves from and would not wish to. Mr Speaker, this is not an uncontroversial settlement, and hapu such as Te Manakorahi and Otawa are expressing concerns Unfortunately, when the Crown dictates the terms, that it puts iwi in a tight box about who is a large natural grouping, who gets heard, who doesn't, and I acknowledge the best efforts of everyone and the ongoing issues. Last night, I had the privilege of speaking on the Waitara bill, the local bill, and as others have said, our support for it to go to Select Committee is extremely constrained. We will not be guaranteeing any further support because that local bill is not a treaty settlement but deals with te treaty issues. And in many ways, we don't believe that that bill has got there. There is too many voices not heard in that bill. We acknowledge the Te Atiawa, who we've been seeking advice from on this, that they were prepared to allow it to go ahead, but they acknowledge that there were flaws, and there are. And this is symbolic, in a way, Waitara, of the deeply flawed nature of trying to fix a mess created and benefited from by my culture, still benefiting, still doing well. Great, fantastic. But that perpetual lease issue, the Peka Peka block, is a deep stain. And I would love to see a healing through that process that was actually about the generosity of my culture, not just the generosity of tangata whenua. I would love to see Pākehā katoa support Taranaki Pākehā to stand up and say, these leases, these resources need to go directly back to the people. We need to find a way. And that local bill doesn't do that. However, this bill, which we're here to talk about, has many good aspects to it and has shown incredible work has been done. But I do want to touch on an issue raised by my colleague Marama Fox about first right of refusal or right of first refusal. The more I learn about it, the more fascinated I get. So in reference to the leasehold land in Taranaki, it was offered to Te Atiawa for $23 million. I always find it curious when you have something, if someone has something stolen and then they have to buy it back. $23 million is an interesting response to a thieving, which is maybe a rude word, but I think we need to speak truth to power every day about what has happened in this country. And especially in the context, and here I want to mihi to Dr. Leonie Pihema, of the Karori campus debacle, whereby the Crown in 2014 gave them the right to the whenua that was Te Atiawa's for $10 in 2014. How does that work? And then they can sell it for millions of bucks. So here's the good work going on here, but there's still, we have this offer that they can't afford, $23 million, because when you've been robbed, you often don't have a lot. And then the Karori campus, $10 and a few blankets. It's contradictory with the stated aspirations of this House that these things are happening in the 21st century. A bit like my bill last night that was voted down by the government for the Public Works Act, No More Māori Land, people saying it's historic. I'm interested in history and the way that history is in the present, and I'm interested in the fact that this bill shows deep generosity, deep commitment to dialogue, and deep kindness. And I'd like to acknowledge that when we walked from New Plymouth, I only walked the last day of the parihaka of the Peace Walk with Mayor Andrew Judd. Every step was an opportunity to learn about the iwi katoa of the area, of Te Atiawa who participated in the support of parihaka and the suffering that they paid for. What has happened to those people? There are people who disappeared that we still don't know what happened to them because they were taken south and never seen again. And just that story, finally, I need to say, needs to be taught to every single child in this country, not as an interesting historical artefact, but as a passionate call for justice and a recognition of what tangata whenua truly offer this country, which is peace leadership, which is justice leadership, and that the past is in front of us. Ngā mihi ki te Atiawa, tēnā koutou katoa.
Kia ora.